what they're doing. So I need to find something for myself. And
what was your talent? What's your talent, Natalie?
Speaking a lot.
Yeah, blabbermouth, but not blabbermouth, but
no. I just like to speak.
Yeah.
To have like little conversations. I'm like, I'm gonna go into marketing.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm like, I'm gonna go in marketing and
a goal. And I had heard that only 2% of women bring their business to a 1 million mark in North America. And I'm like, wow, I want to do that. And we were stuck at the same number for years. It was a great number, but it wasn't a million. And then when we started that, well, fair enough. That year we crushed the 1 million and we paid ourselves more money without, not having more money, just like I think it was our energy and our positivity towards those goals. And well, if you do
and putting our energy towards it, then
they act on it.
So first of all, I'm super excited to have you guys on the podcast today. And the name of the podcast is really for our listeners. It's A Profitable Life. And the idea behind it is how can we create a real rich and profitable life? And so if you're out there and you're driving and you're listening to us, we have great guests here today, Natalie and Shanthaly, the founders and owners of Shanthaly. And obviously you can just understand where the name come from. But what really I'm amazed at is your growth. And if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, you're a mother, your mothers, your daughters, how do you navigate this busy life that we all have, running a salon, a big salon, running an academy, that's a second business, and just having life?
Yeah, I almost want to, can I jump in on this too? Because we've all been together for so long. I remember like you two having a discussion like at your parents' house about what you were going to create, right? Like in the 90s or something. Can we start there? Because your story of even like creating Studio Shanthaly is really just inspirational. And this is very unique. Everybody's going to look at these two sisters and be like, how are they pulling this off?
And they like together all the time, and they still are the best of friends. I mean, we had the best time in Montreal together. You guys had the best time in Chicago. So we do travel together, right? So you everywhere, you find the time for everything. So yeah, Nicole, that's a great place to start.
Yeah, well, so we get that a lot. People ask like, how can you work with your sister all the time? I'm like, I think I wouldn't be able to work with anybody else but her, because we know exactly what she thinks. She knows how I feel, and she puts words in my mouth.
Shopping. Shopping. I can't go shopping with anybody else because I know I'm like, this would fit Shanthaly, and I ask her and she's like, yes, or she has some things like, it's more like you.
Or sometimes we like the same thing, like this dress, she's like jealous because she says it's more her style, so she wants that dress, but I'm like, no, I found it first. So anyways, okay, so you want us to go back to maybe like December 1997? Yeah, when we had
at your parents' house,
when we were at our parents' house and we had a talk, like we were both working somewhere else. I was a hairstylist maybe a year before you, because, well, you can tell your story that you went to college. And
if I can make that story really short, is we have an older sister that she's an esthetician, and Shanthaly, since she was 8, was saying that she was going to be a hairdresser.
Yeah, I was cutting my doll's hair and cousin's hair.
We were a really creative family, but I was like, I cannot copy what they're doing. So I need to find something for myself. And
what was your talent? What's your talent, Natalie?
Speaking a lot.
Yeah. Blabbermouth, but not blabbermouth, but
no. I just like to speak.
To
have like little conversations. I'm like, I'm going to go into marketing.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm like, I'm going to go in marketing and having like working with teams. I was more into that. So when studying like in that
to college,
field, to college, and
You got a job right away.
Yes. And I went in marketing, but at the end I was working in an office with a computer. And I remember the day. It was Wednesday. It was 11 o'clock. And I was like, oh my God, lunchtime is only an hour. And we're only Wednesday. The week is never going to end. And I'm like, I cannot live my life like
this. We
this.
cannot trap Nathalie in an office. It just doesn't work.
Every night I was coming home and we were living with our parents. And I was more excited to know her day.
How was your day? Did you get a new client? What did you do? Did you do highlights? I'm like, yeah.
And I helped her
with my publicity and
flyers and back in the
no
days.
Instagram or TikTok or anything. So it was flyers in the windshield.
So I was her number one fan.
Yeah.
So at that time, she's like, why? Why aren't you changing? Why are you coming?
You don't even like your job.
So
that's when it started.
Yeah. So I went back. Working. Yeah. I went back to college. So went to hairdressing school and joined Shanthaly at her job.
So we were working with this woman, which she was great. She taught us like a lot of things and we loved her. But we were working in a basement, like here in this town. So it's a small town. And at one point we're like,
we're not
going to stay in the basement? Is that what we want? So we felt like, well, maybe we could do our own thing. Usually I get the ideas and I'm like, I don't know how to do it, but hey, I have ideas. So we ended up being at mom's one night and we're sitting on
your bed,
on my bed, my twin bed.
Yes.
And we were like, okay, let's do this. So let's find like a name. And she was like, oh, it could be, what did you say?
It could be Salon, but in French it's Salon, Shanthaly. So I'm like, Chant for Shanthaly. And Thaly was my nickname at home.
Back home,
So it was like Shanthaly. And Chantal said,
like, that's so tacky. No. If we're going to do this, going to be studio, because that's more like, classy. And then the Shanthaly will be written like with an S and then a Y at the end. So it's more Chanel-like than just our like boat names stuck together. So that's how it started. We led with that. And then we had like
and it was like 2 months after we were opening our first
we were opening. So our boyfriends were doing like the flooring tile, like the tiles. Our sister's really good with decorating. So she decorated everybody, like the whole family got into it. We found this nice spot on the main street. There wasn't a lot of main street or professional salon. Usually it was more like in-home salon. So we got really good feedback because people were like, yes, finally we got a real hair salon in our town. We don't have to go into like those private homes anymore or go to Ottawa as the next town over, like the bigger town. So we were pretty excited about that. So we kind of opened up like that on
really naive.
Naive, January 6, 1998. And then we closed January 7, 1998. So just not even 24 hours later, because we had this big, they called it like an ice storm back then. And the ice storm made that all of the towns around, like even Ottawa, like even the big cities, no electricity for like 2 weeks. So we had no power.
So we had to shut down. So we were open one day and shut down 2 weeks.
Yeah, but we were living at our parents.
Perfect.
Of course. Exactly. So anyways, 2 weeks afterwards, when we were able to reopen, we did like 12-hour shift back to back. And we were so busy and it kind of never stopped from there. But we just created ourselves a job at that point.
What do you mean that you created a job? So you owned a salon.
We didn't think we were going to have a salon with stylists. We didn't want to have employees. It was just me and her, like, let's do this. Like, we don't have parents that are
in business,
entrepreneurs or at all. So
even our family,
my extended family,
they all have jobs. And so nobody's in business. So for us, it was not something attainable. It was just,
we're in the country and let's do hair because that's what we love doing and we're good with people. But let's not be in a private home. That was the only thing. But then we realized
and we were victim of our success because at one point was like, we have too many people wanted to come in.
Our reputation was like, oh, don't call it Shanthaly. There's no room there. I'm like, yeah, that's good. And then we're like, oh, no, that's not good because on the point we're losing, money. We're losing, but we didn't think it like that at that time. So we hired one stylist, then another, and then we got to loving the entrepreneurial aspect of it. We started taking classes. We met with the Euphoria team. That's our product line since like 19 years now. And they got we really had a different approach to like more, dress for success. So we started dressing better and no more jeans, no more, no ponytail, nothing's allowed like that at the salon still. And it made a big difference.
Having that 8 steps financial success process, how
Following
you
steps.
treat clients consistently with 8-step system that we can recreate. And we started to read more books because on
Leadership.
Before it was all about technicals, like
how can I get better with my haircut, and which was it's perfect, and we still do.
But we shift more like the business side of it, and we were like, oh my God, we
were loving it. Yeah, we were.
Now one day in Euphoria class, they said you should read the book Profit First with Ron.
From
and we're
Ronit Enos. We're like,
and I'm like, write this down and order it.
Yeah, because she doesn't read. No, she reads. But at that time, you didn't read much. You were starting. Now she does. So she would say, read the book, do the highlights, give it back. I'm going to read your highlights.
Because it's not
I want to go back kind of like even before that. And I love this whole story. It's amazing because the evolution, it's fine. It's almost like a lot of the owners really don't find themselves intentionally wanted to open a business. They all say, most of the people that we work with all say, we never really thought that we're going to be a hairdresser or a salon owner or spa, or even some of our members who are, in the wellness industry, the yoga, the gyms. It's almost like they think that it happens by destiny, but I don't believe in that. Now that we are in the same book club, we know that there is a vision, and the self-conscious brain always works for you. It knows exactly what you want, and it's going to bring you there. This episode is sponsored by Salon Cadence, the only global advisory network helping salon and spa and med spa CEOs scale to 7 and 8 figures without a burnout. This is not a do-it-yourself program. This is do it with you and for you. From profit-first system to team-run leadership. First, we fix the numbers, then we create the wealth, then we focus on CEO mindset, and we build the process with your team to give you the ultimate freedom to become the true CEO and visionary you are. We have helped thousands grow widely successful for freedom-driven companies in beauty, wellness, and regenerative medicine. If you're ready to grow, scale, and live a wealthy life, visit saloncadence.com. Now, one of the most important things that you can invest in and not do it yourself, I highly recommend mysalonbooks.com. Salon owners that are tired of never knowing if you're actually profitable or where your money is going, on what your money is doing for you or against you. The team at My Salon Books takes the stress off your plate. They are specialized in salon booking, providing real-time insight and financial clarity so you can focus on what you do best, running a thriving salon. Here at Salon Cadence, we recommend mysalonbooks.com. It is the only bookkeeping management that utilizes the profit first the right way. So go to mysalonbooks.com to learn more and get free evaluation of your own books. But I want to go even back before that, okay? Before we dive into the success that you are having today, I want you to take back to your most challenging moment in your business. That point where everything seems to be falling apart. We do get some moments like that. So I want you to take us back to that. What was happening? Oh my God, I just don't want to do this anymore, okay? Take us to that point where you felt like this, but something unexpected happened that it completely turned you back and changed everything.
We don't even have to talk about it. I know where you're going, so start and I'll
You want me to
finish.
start at the point that we were like, who wants the salon? I can just do hair, but somebody wants to own it now? Anyways, we had this amazing coordinator. She was on it, and she was like Nathalie, really driven, and they would understand each other because they were like in sync.
And we had that idea of having an academy by that time.
We already started thinking about teaching and doing our own thing.
And she was in it with us, and we're like, oh my God, we're going to do
planning together.
Wow.
Anyways, we always do our one-on-one meeting every quarter. So hers was coming up, and there was a few things that usually we like to talk about what's going well and what could be, better. And I'm like, I find that her schedule is weird. Like the other day, I think she took off in the morning, but then she said she came in early. I'm just going to go check her time clock just to make sure that before I talk about, I'd rather you come in by that time, blah, blah, blah. Let's go check your time clock. And then I'm like punching the time clock for the past month. And we both froze. It was like 9 o'clock at night. Nobody was there anymore. And we're like, what the hell? And just leaning over and looking at the time clock. And every morning the time clock was set that she would start at 7:30. Sometimes like a little bit during Saturday, or she would finish later. And I'm like, no, yesterday she didn't come in at 7. I was in the salon before her. She starts at 10. I was there at 9. Why is the clock in like as if she clocked in at 7? And then we started going back. And we did that like for, I think we stopped after 6 months because we saw that.
I went back.
Yeah, I know.
You saw a pattern
for 4 years.
So she was stealing money literally in the drawer, but she was stealing money because she was the one doing the paycheck. So we were like shaking and just like, anyway, so we met with her the next day.
I was so hoping that there was a glitch in the computer.
Yeah, we were hoping. So anyways, we're like, okay, so we need to talk about something because I think, that day that you took off because of your daughter had an appointment, she said, yeah. And I came back, did my hours. I know, but can you explain this? And then we just showed her the time clock. And then she just sat back. And Nathalie was like,
she got caught.
Yeah, please tell me it's a glitch. And she's like, well, and we were like
and I just asked her, I'm like, if you were in our shoes, what would you do? And she's like, I would fire me. And I was like,
well, that's it.
That's what happened. But I was like, oh my God, that's not the answer I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
But
we were so floored
and we had
somebody could do that.
Like, we had a client like 5 minutes after.
So So we had to, swipe up the tears. I don't even think I cried.
I was so mad. So mad. So
and
it's a betrayal. It's a major betrayal.
But
yes, but
there's a problem. There's a book on it. Somebody told that to me. And we read the book, Own It, from Brian Tracy, I think. And
yes. Brian Clancy. Yes.
Yeah, and we were in the middle of reading it.
Yeah,
if I'm correct. Like, we were reading that book at that time.
And at one part, it said, what happens to you, it's your fault. And I was like kind of mad. I was like, it's not our fault because she did this and that and blah, 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 blah. And then it said, just take your power back. If you are mad at somebody because they did that to you, you're going to stay in that victim mode. So own it.
Yes.
You were not on it.
Take it back.
Yeah.
That's it.
Because we did realize that we were giving her all the power. Like, okay, you
run the business.
You do the paycheck, you do, and like payrolls. And it's as if we told her, it's as if we gave you like a big bowl of candies and we told you, okay, so you give 3 to Nathalie, give 4 to Natasha, give 5 to her, keep 3 for yourself, but we're never going to go back and count the amount of candy that's left. And she was like, so she knew we weren't going to go and check, but we did. So she got caught.
So it was a big lesson for us.
Yeah,
we're like, okay,
it's totally our fault. Now we think like it's not even her fault. I mean, it's all on us.
Because we were too busy behind the chair that we couldn't run our business.
Yeah.
So we hired that special person and she was going to do it all.
Awesome.
I'm like, but why? It's our job. So we're like, okay, we have to reduce our time behind the chair to
and
really
we
manage.
knew we had to do that because we had like classes before saying you should not work as much and you should, keep some time.
We thought we were like superwoman. Yeah. We could do it all.
So that
well, it hurts. It hurts a lot, but you're right. You took ownership to something like this. I remember that happened to us too. Same thing, same story, just a different person. Same story, different person. Yeah, but you learn from that. You learn, Now so how did what was the point on that betrayal feeling? And I love the fact that you take it to Brian Clancy, his book, and how you took it back and you got out the victim. And of course, the two of you are best at that. You got out of the victim mode. But is that the time that you felt, I just don't want to do this anymore? This is ridiculous. Why do I hire people?
Yeah, we had that.
It was hard, and
we had that moment of like, if we couldn't trust her, who can we trust? So it's like, if we want to go bigger, we'll have to trust people, but we can't. Mm-hmm. So why are we doing this? We should go back to the two of us. It's going to be simple. We're going to create our job, and we're going to do our job. And when we're going to retire, done. It's going to be only the two of us.
But we knew we didn't wanted that. Like, we had created nice jobs for lots of our stylists, and we were the only salon, not anymore, but back in the days, we were the only salon like on Main Street that was,
Bigger than
big
just
and
having
nice
one.
and just, beautiful. So yes, we had our 24-hour of crying, bitching,
And our
yes.
was a week. Well, maybe two, maybe even.
We went camping that weekend, and
Yeah.
our poor husbands were like, la, 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 talked about that the whole weekend. And we were reminiscing and then coming back to, but you shouldn't have done that. And oh my God, it's funny now that I think of it.
But my ego is, no, I'm working on my ego now.
Yeah, but it was.
As back then, was like, okay. It was like the last thing I told her was, do you know what? One day you're going to walk on Main Street and you're going to see Académie Shanthaly, because the school that we talked about for a year, we're going to do it. And you could have been part of it. And I left. So in my
I loved it.
With every time the academy, we had a lot of like, oh my God, red tape.
It was
a 5-year of really all things. But every time I was like, no, we cannot stop.
We have to do it because we said we were going to do it.
And like one day she's gonna see that sign and she's gonna say, I could have been part of
this. Yeah.
So sometimes
we moved on. Yeah.
Yeah. And everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
We've always go from that, everything happens for a reason. And now we have our Samantha that's like awesome. And
amazing.
Yeah.
With this podcast or our show, it's Living a Profitable Life show. We're going to bring you so many great guests and lessons and teachings. So it's really is wonderful to have our partners, sponsors that helping us make this possible for everyone. But it is you who are going to make us better. So I'm asking you to always comment and let me know, how was this episode? Was it helpful? What else would you like to learn? What else would you like to see? It's predicted within the next few years, this industry, this beautiful beauty industry around the world is going to be growing by 8 to 10% incremental. That means opportunities to grow, to develop, to anything you want to be in this world. The thing is, the more you subscribe and share it with your friend, the more I can make this podcast be the best place for you. Any subject that you find is necessary, let us know. So please subscribe and help us get to at least 1,000 downloads. Once we get there, we'll celebrate.
I was thinking about how, I don't know who said this, but somebody said that the difference between somebody that is successful and somebody that's not successful isn't the amount of things that happen to them, like the amount of tragedies they have, or like the bad days that they have in their business. Like you guys experienced this hardship that caused to like make trust in other people feel really fragile and impossible. But instead, the difference between what makes somebody successful is they don't let that slow them down. Like they continue to try. The mistakes don't stop them from trying and don't stop them from moving forward. And so that's what you guys did. You said, you know what? I have a piece of this blame pie that's mine. Yeah. You know, I'm the owner. I wanted to get rid of that responsibility. I didn't want to have to, I wanted to be the owner, but I wanted to get rid of the stuff that I didn't want to deal with or look at or be a part of to somebody else. And you just said, it's my business. And I need to own that. I need to look at that. That's my responsibility. And so that's a beautiful thing, because if you just stay in that victim mindset, if you just say, wow, I'm never going to be able to trust anybody again. And that camping trip where you're just bitching and moaning with your husbands lasts for years instead
it has
of
to happen. Yeah.
You know, it has to happen. But if it doesn't continue, that would be your story today, and it's not your story today.
You know, I want to piggyback on that, Nicole, because see, people need to understand, and a lot of people don't. They think that they're going to go through climbing a mountain, and hard and steep as it is to climb the mountain, the rocks are going to fall on you. You're going to bump into something. You're going to get some cuts and some scars. And then you think, that's it. You got to the top of the mountain. You're sitting on the mountain. Everything is going to be okay now. But it doesn't really work that way in business. You're always going to have things that are going to happen. People are going to come. People are going to go. Somebody is going to steal. Somebody is going to be not so honest. There's always going to be something. So if you're into entrepreneurial life, you have to understand that this is not an easy stuff, and it's will never going to be easy, because if it would be easy, like everybody always say, not everybody's going to do it, or everybody would have done that. So, I want to speak to this because I think that everybody sometimes gets into the bottom of it, like rock bottom, when you just say, this is it, I can't do this anymore. But right there, when you feel that way, you got to go through it to get to the other side, and you will, because there's always another mountain to climb. It's just always another mountain to climb, right? And we get, like you can lose, in our industry, whether it's in the wellness industry, the beauty industry, it could happen in any company that you have 3 or 4 people living all in the same time. And that can set you really behind, but you're going to get over it. It's okay. You're going to get over it. You're going to open another, you're going to do another things. The truth is going back and say, well, what have I learned from this, that if I'm going to go forward, I'm not going to do that again, right? So one of the things that I always say is look at the list of people that you have in your team right now, and who would you not rehire again, and why? Right? Who would you not? We're all going to look at back in our teams. It's like, oh, I would never rehire that person. Why? And take that and apply it to, well, what do you want to hire? And when you're going forward to it, who would you rehire and why? And then you know how to really mold the avatar that is going to work for your company. Do you find that you're getting clearer and clearer on that?
Oh my God.
You made us do that homework last week, so we did. So we took almost, it's been 28 years we're in business now, and we had a lot of people, and just writing down each one of what we liked, what was more Shanthaly. We always say, who is more Shanthaly?
And who's not? What's their qualities? And is it aligned with our values?
Yeah, nobody's perfect. We're not perfect. So everybody has little things. But the main thing that we saw on what we love about our team right now, and what was maybe not aligned before, was being at ease with the clientele for consultation. The one that we hired to work out a lot of times was because of
it was very awkward. The social skills, I think, is so much important. So that's a non-negotiable to see. And because now that we have the academy, we spend a year with them, so we know who's who. So we know who's.
And we're hiring just from our school too.
Just from our school now, so it kind of helped, and we don't get into that situation anymore because we kind of know who we're hiring. They're not perfect, but they're very aligned with what we want, and we drill them with the Shanthaly way throughout the year, so they kind of know what to expect. And
yes, and we know what's workable with them, because the technicals, all of that can
the techniques is fine. I mean, they all do have talents. Are some better with highlights than others? Some are better with the cuts. I'm like, that's something that we're just going to continue to grow
and teach.
But the social skills and they're do they respect us? Do they respect our industry? And do they want to grow? Are they goal oriented? That's something you either have or you don't. So
now that we hire from our school and we know them a lot, like we said, that's easier for hiring, definitely.
Yeah, I love that. And I'd love if you take me back also to before things have shifted. What did your day-to-day felt like when you were running the business, but the numbers just weren't making any sense to you?
Yeah, that was.
I would say we ran a business out of luck, not out of numbers, because we were always saying, "Oh, we're not good in math. We're not good, and we don't want to see the numbers."
Our blueprint was I'm not good with numbers, and I don't, understand everything. But then we were frugal, so like she said, we were lucky because we're frugal, and everything was good. There was always enough money, in the bank account.
I didn't know how much.
Well,
but it was fine.
But it was fine.
We knew that our expenses were less than what we were getting in.
Perfect.
But we had no goals of
no.
How are we going to reach that amount? It was out of luck. Every year was hey, okay, we had a little profit. Okay,
we did that,
but never raising our.
No, that's it. At one point, I told Nathalie, I'm I think if I go back 12 years, we still have the same paycheck. And I mean, it was 12 years ago. Now it's not anymore. And her blueprint was we don't need that much. We're good. We're lucky. We bought our house, when it wasn't as expensive as now. Because sometimes I would dream and say, oh, let's say I won the lottery she would always say, I don't want to win the lottery. And now you don't anymore, right? But anyways, so we had like,
I'm not a dreamer.
you're not a dreamer. And I was like, can we get, more paycheck? It was like, well, no, we have to make sure that we have enough money for, the payrolls. And then I was like, but the juniors do more than we do. Like, that's not fair. So I was like, I'm done. If it's going to be, this is it for your paycheck for the rest of your life. And the juniors are going to go to 1K a year and we're not close to that. I'm like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we doing this? We had to really shift. And by reading your book, I was like, oh my God, you need to read this. I don't exactly know how, but I started scribbling and doing like my own OTGs, which I didn't know what I was doing. But anyways, like, how much per the hour are we bringing in? Remember, I'm like, she's more in the hours than I am. And I was doing it and I'm like, we need like 5 banks account. And she's like, we do have this. I have one for the taxes because she was already good at it. One for the taxes, one for if you want to do a project of some sort. One, I'm like, yeah, so you're putting money everywhere, but on us. Like, we need, and they're promising that we'll make money now. So anyways, we really, really opened up like our mind and
At first I was just supposed to read her highlights of the book. And then I was like, my God, this is the book I was looking for. So I started reading everything in the book.
Yeah.
So that was
and then I have to be careful when I want to do something because she's gonna make sure. She was like 10% of our expenses. I'm like, we already frugal. What do you want to cut? Like, we already don't have any subscription.
Oh yeah, you sent her on that mission, and she was. Now you can't escape.
It takes really great to have 2 minds because even though you guys are so similar and you're sisters, you still have 2 different perspectives. Like I literally, for many of my moves in the company, I have to call Nicole because I just really need a perspective. And you need an objective perspective, but also you need a perspective for somebody who knows the mission and the vision of your company, where you want to take it, but also know you, and I think that's the beauty of partnership. I really think that partnership is priceless, absolutely priceless.
Yeah,
and she's and I'm more logical, but sometimes logical.
But
I always say I'm a good leader, but sometimes nobody's gonna follow me because I don't have that emotional part.
She's not a good listener.
No, so she is. So that's why we just
I wouldn't do it alone. Like, no.
Yeah,
it would be.
It's hard.
This episode is sponsored by Forest Salon Software, the all-in-one solution designed to help salon, spa, med spa owners really deliver with confidence and really design and drive their company to success. Forest isn't just a booking system. It is your machine that will help you grow your company with smart marketing and real-time reporting, staff performance tracking, and world-class support. And I mean world-class support, because I wouldn't even recommend Forest if they didn't have a world-class support. Now, so whether you're scaling to 7 figures or streamline your operation or need to fix things and tighten things up, Forest can help you make smarter decisions and deliver the luxury experience that your clients and your members really need. If you're ready for a software that is all in and grows with you and support you for a truly team-run company, just visit forest.com and discover why thousands of salons trust Forest. And mention Salon Cadence and you'll get a perk. This episode is sponsored by Vish, the smartest color management system for profitable salons. Vish tracks your color usage, reduces waste, and helps you charge accurately for all color services, so you can protect your profit and grow with confidence. You know that we are all about profit and how we live a profitable life by design. You can definitely make it so easily, and I've seen it, the actual results on the P&L. Vish makes it happen. Now join thousands of salons using Vish to scale smarter. Head to getvish.com and see the difference for yourself.
Now it's interesting. So by going through this, what really made the shift to think like I'm no longer have to worry about numbers anymore?
But the shift was really the book, and I'm like, we have to follow this like
the letter
every week. At first you said maybe every 2 weeks or once a month. I'm like, no, we're gonna do this every week, and we still do. Yeah, we're still doing
yeah.
the productivity
and that was a big shift of like being
control of the business. business instead of being victim to past number. Like we have more control on the numbers right now.
Our accountant would bring our P&L. I'm like, I'm not sure I understand everything. I was looking at the end. Is it working? It was fine. It was like, okay, for next month, well, it's going to be a surprise for next month. Now I find that
we understand the P&L.
Yes, and being in control of it, knowing that, okay, are we doing our goals? If not, what are we putting in place that we can do it?
Yeah.
Like,
and also I'd say have benchmarks for industry. Like nobody had told us when we opened up the salon that your back bar needs to be at this percentage.
6%.
You should be pre-booking at
70%.
70%. See?
Very good. Yes. You can teach that now.
Exactly. We didn't know that. So having to put like the whole business plugged into those numbers was like, oh wow, so we're doing this great, and okay, we need to work on this, but we didn't know where to work on. So that was like very an awakening for us. Having those benchmarks, especially for our industry.
Yeah. And the thing is, unfortunately, in this industry, there is not enough data. Everybody says that there's so much data, we know, and thank God now a lot of softwares collect data. And if we take all the softwares and combine together, we will have a lot more data right now. But the truth is, when it comes to building a profit first company, you determined how profitable you want to be. You set the goal, because you can't just say, oh, if we are 10% profitable, then you're happy, because 10% is not enough. What would you do? I mean, I guess 10% from $3 million, that sounds great, but then it's realistic to say, well, how many hours do you get that in, right? So it's really nice to know exactly what is it that you want to take home as an owner income? What is it that you want to give as a great compensation and growth opportunity to your team, to your community? What is that you want to do with the money that you're making? And we never stop to think about that particular part. How much do I want to take money home? Why do I want to? How many days do I want to work as an owner? How much do you want to be a CEO? And talking about this, you can create the money reality, the money story that you want it to be. That's the easy part. You can create that. So that brings me into the next question is, when did you realize that you being behind the chair every day was actually holding the business back and not pushing it forward?
I'd say from that moment when that coordinator made us realize that we were leaving everything in her hands.
And we were not doing our jobs.
No.
We decided to have a business. We should be in control of it.
Yeah. So
and we're not in control of it because we're too busy behind the chair. So that was the first realization like we need. And knowing that we had the project of the school was like, okay, we're going to be busy with that. So we can, because with just the salon, we were like, what are we going to do? We're going to have too much time. We're two. So we're like, the business won't be able to pay ourselves a salary. And it was like, what are we going to do with all that time? Our hairdresser will say that we're just lazy and we're just a little boss and coming in at 11 and leaving at 4. So it was, I had all those.
And I mean, we love to
stories.
Work. So it was stories actually, because we thought that we would be judged if we don't work.
Not respected.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was not the case.
Yeah, it wasn't the case. And we thought the clients are not going to react well when we're going to say, okay, we're stepping back from the chair. And we just did like cold turkey, I think. Now we prepared them and we kind of booked them with another stylist every second time. So that way they got to know her. Then I got to train them. So it's really doable, and I wouldn't go back behind the chair at all. I enjoy more teaching or just seeing people grow, like seeing our stylists grow. They're even like way better than we are to do, the highlights and all. So I'm like, I love to see them grow and attain their goals and working like, I guess that business side.
I wonder, so using Profit First for salons, and you were talking about some resources that we use at Salon Cadence that help you understand and know your numbers. But when you made that switch to prioritize paying yourself, what happened? What were you able to do when you made that shift? Because I think that people get in that money scarcity mindset and they think, I can't afford this, I can't afford that. And they just, cut, even if it means cutting themselves out of the equation. So So what did making it a priority for you to get paid and for you to have your time back? What did it do for you and your team?
But knowing that Chantal was like, why would we do this if we're not paid more?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, like we have to think bigger. And at first, I'll be honest, I was like, we're gonna do that. We're gonna take like a percentage, 10% every week for our salary. But back in my head, I was like, the math is not gonna match, so we'll have to take the money.
So you weren't gonna distribute it because we were like, we'll just keep it like now.
We'll try it. We'll do that method of doing things. But back in my head, I'm like, it's not gonna match, and we're gonna have to rob Peter to pay Paul with all those different bank accounts. And to my surprise, was like the amount of money in our bank account was the same.
It's the same. It never changed.
And I was like, but where was that money before? I didn't know. So it made me realize that no. If we want something and you put it aside, and there was a lot of books saying that for charity too, put amount of percentage in a bank account for charity. And I was like, let's try this, but it won't. I will have to take it back
to pay bills
and that too. I was like, oh my God, our bank account did go down. And I'm like, I have that bank account that I didn't have before. It's adding up. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't give it to charity or having a project. And we saw that too when we wanted to bring our kids at Disneyland and or at Disney World in Florida. And I was like, it's going to be cost too much. I have 3 kids, she has 2. I'm like, oh my God,
it's a $10,000 trip.
And for me it was more closer to 12,000. But we had that goal. We set money aside and we did it. And I was like, okay, everything's possible. We just have to put our mind to it and having a goal. And every goal is going to get done. Because you put your energy towards that. But because I'm not a dreamer, I was always
it was
like,
too woohoo for her. She was like, but it doesn't make sense and everything needs to be black and white. And I'm like, no, just put it like
in the universe.
Out there in the universe. Let's put a goal. And I had heard that only 2% of women bring their business to a 1 million mark in North America. And I'm like, wow, I want to do that. And we were stuck at the same number for years. It was a great number, but it wasn't a million. And then when we started that, well, fair enough, that year we crushed the 1 million and we paid ourselves more money without, not having more money, just like I think it was our energy and our positivity towards those goals. And well, if you do
putting our energy towards it, then say
act on it.
What's the saying?
I love it. Now with all of that, it's nice to kind of reflect. And I loved Nicole's questions on what does the money actually do for you, and sharing how you were able to just like really dream about the trip with your family. But I also going to take it even deeper and say, who else's life has changed because yours did? Think about like your team or your family, other than your family, your clients. Just by taking that approach of becoming the CEO of your company, who else's life has changed?
Well, I think the stylist,
the whole team,
they do great pays. And I never thought like a stylist in our hometown would be able to do more than 100K per year. I didn't think that was something we could do.
In big other towns like Montreal or Ottawa, but I was like,
but not here. And because we don't charge as much as, in Montreal, like you say, but they are like most of them are doing that easily without, working more. So it really changed. And I felt like even for the students, they see that it's attainable and they can do it.
They have a great life and profitable life being a hairdresser, instead of just saying, I'm just a hairdresser, but I love what I do. So we wanted to change that
perspective, I guess,
of our industry. So that was like something that, all our students, our past students, that like we gave them that hope of like, let's together change that our industry, and that no little boy or girl that wants to be a hairdresser, that people around them saying, no, you're too smart to be a hairdresser. You should do this and that. It was like, no. We
don't want that.
We know that in Europe, being a hairstylist is as nice as being an accountant. So why in North America we have that thing of like, if you're not as intelligent or you're just more creative? And
we always say it's the movie Grease that kind of ruined it for us.
Beauty school
Beauty school dropout. Yep.
That's so funny. Yep.
So that's
I totally.
our team.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, your team gets so much from it, and I love seeing it too. You know, for your leadership team, how they've grown so much. Now, if another salon owner or a spa owner, or even a wellness and anti-aging facilities are listening to you right now, sitting in the exact seat where you were sitting 2 years ago or 3 years ago, what's the one thing you want them to feel
or to know that they should always get like a
coach,
somebody that puts you accountable and
to educate yourself on
never
stopping, and always have faith that those little, I call it 911s during the day or during the week or a month, or all those little 911s will pass. So don't dwell on those little negative things. There's so many beautiful things happening every day,
and sometimes from those 911 beautiful things happen
too. So just, it will pass. Don't really be on that negative thing, because we
don't take it as seriously now. We try to take one thing at a time, and okay, that's fine.
Like you said earlier, that we had that vision of like, oh no, we're having those little 911s, but when we're getting there, we'll be happy and everything will be perfect. And I'm like, no.
There's always like stuff to work out on.
But at first, knowing that, was like, oh, but why are we doing this?
Yeah.
We could just be hairdressers in another salon, doing our own thing, making money, and then getting
more
out.
money.
Probably. But loving that those little 911s are not a big deal now. So just like, don't sweat the small stuff and just focus, stand tall, be, how do you say in English? The lighthouse. Be the lighthouse that
at the end of the island.
Stay strong, and people will come to you. Don't try to be
Make
everywhere
everybody
and making everybody happy, and you're making somebody happy and the other one is mad about that. And so just stand tall.
Be clear on the goals and where we're going,
and be transparent.
Yeah.
Now our P&L is on
the board
in our staff room, because
to see it. And, oh my God, it costs that much to pay us. Yeah.
Payrolls and everything. So for us, it's like our door is always open. I'm really surprised
very transparent
that nobody just came in, even if the door is closed, because we're like that. We're like, hey, let's work through any problems, and we're gonna forget about it in a week or two, and it's how we get up.
There's always a solution,
and we started liking those little 911s and saying, hey, my God, it's not that big a deal. So
it's not that big of a deal. Yeah.
For business owners, just like look at the big goals, clear in the goal, go right ahead and be clear for everybody where we're going, and don't sweat the little thing. It's just little things.
I love it. This is amazing. We're going into those rapid questions. Are you ready for those?
Rapid.
Yes, rapid questions. Those are fun, quick questions. Okay. Nicole, you want to go for that one?
Let's start with this one. What is your superpower, each of you?
I'm disciplined. That's my superpower.
And I'm the dreamer.
Yeah.
And I think together,
that's it.
Nailed it.
Great combo.
It is a killer combo. And if you could have a billboard anywhere in the world and it would say anything that you wanted it to say, what would you put on it?
It would be the name of a song.
The title of the song.
It would be, These Girls Are on Fire.
I love it.
We always
that is
Yeah,
the power of females. I love it. That is awesome. That. These girls are on fire.
Natalie and Shanthaly rising from the ashes like a couple of phoenixes, you know.
I'm on fire all the time.
We're gonna be like, wait, are they on fire? Is this like the Salem witch trials? What's happening here? I do love that. That's a perfect billboard. How would each of you define success?
I think to be proud at the end of the day of what you did and
achieving goals.
Yeah.
I think now,
and inspiring others.
Because I remember on my vision board way back, I had the word success. And then we were in a seminar somewhere and they said, but what is success? And I'm like, oh, what is success? Is it an amount of money? What amount of money? Is it bringing your business to
Another
something,
level,
another
yeah.
level. Having like 10 stylists is a success. So now for me, success is we are putting goals.
We reach it,
reach
that's
it.
success. Then go up.
And go up, raise the bar, and bring another goal.
So
And
that,
that's little successes. Our problem is not celebrating those success
Enough.
long enough.
Yeah.
Because when we reach it, we're like, okay, good, we nailed it. Go
Next.
next.
Yeah.
And we're not celebrating enough. So that's what we have to do.
Short answer, Nick.
That's pretty big. I think that a lot of people in our industry and small business owners feel the same way, where it's like, even looking back on something, it's hard to even recognize it as being a success. You look back on it and you're like, oh, I could have done this better. I wish I would have done that differently. You did it. So own it. Have an espresso martini about it. Have a camping weekend with your husbands where that's all you talk about, and own it.
Yeah.
The last one that I have, Ronit, is, do you have any exciting projects that you're working on in your business right now? Like any new innovations, any goals that you and your team are focusing on?
We just brought Vish
Yeah.
this week, literally this
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a long English word I have a hard time saying. But on Wednesday, and we were afraid of it because every business owner was saying,
You'll have resistance. And
they won't do it. And I was like,
how can we make it fun, positive, and so that we have the least resistance? Oh, yeah, hopefully.
And one of our stylists said,
I know the answer.
they're like, what? Tell us. She's like, don't be part of it because you're the mom. And if you're the mom and saying, do your
Homework.
clean or do your homework or clean your room, there's a part of you that just don't want to do it. Let us take the lead
In that project.
And we're
they
like,
did.
okay. And they did. We were not there for the first
It was
meeting.
hard not to go into when they had the
The class.
teacher
Yeah.
that came, and we're like, okay, we're not going. I guess that's. But now we don't know anything about Vish. I'm like, okay, you'll have to. But we don't use it. We're not going to use it ourselves. But anyways, and they had fun throughout the day. They came and they were like, oh my god, that's amazing. And right now my rescaling's at 100%. I'm like, wow, okay.
So that was the answer, not being part of it. So that's a big project right now.
And what else?
Yeah.
What else? But we're in the book club with you guys,
Which is
so
yes.
that's a project. At first, was scaring us a little bit because
how we're gonna do it,
and lacking time to. And
I was afraid.
but everything happens for a reason. We had that
It's working.
opportunity coming in our way,
We took
Yes.
and we love it. So that's a big thing now.
it right now.
For us, yeah. And that carries on. That carries on to everything. That pours into everything. I love it. And we have our 2 days takeover coming up this year. So we're excited about that too.
Yeah, ladies,
Yeah.
don't forget, every time you read a book together, magic happens for you. Whether it was that first book that you dealt with the supervisor in your company, or Profit First for Salons leading you to us, or this book club that you're entering into, you guys are working together, then you're
I think it's
unstoppable. Yeah.
It is.
And then
We're very lucky to have two powerhouses, and women on fire,
we try.
girls on fire.
Yes.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here today, guys. This was really amazing. I'm sure that this will impact a lot of people.